Okay, so here we are. Lorient's over. Can you believe it? What happened? It's as though it never happened. It's like it happens in this bubble, and all of a sudden, it's not there anymore. I kind of miss it.
I know. I feel a bit shell shocked, if I'm honest, from the whole experience. Like, was it a dream?
That's what I mean. It feels as though, like, did that actually happen, or did we just have some bizarre shared dream? I don't know.
Well, it was one heck of a dream.
Wasn't it wonderful? And like, I don't know, I think because it was our first year as delegate and assistant delegate, it was a really big one. And also because we had our esteemed VIP guests as well, we wanted to make sure that we showed it off to its best and help them kind of really understand the magic of Lorient too.
Absolutely. The pressure was on this year, as you say, because we had the Chief Minister with us and Mrs. Masker, MLC, and so we really wanted to impress. We really wanted to show the Isle of Man off to the best of their ability, and I can hands down say I think we achieved that. I mean, our team were phenomenal. Really? All of the performers just didn't pull any punches, they brought out all the stops. It was absolutely magical.
Yeah, and watching them in the Grand Parade, I can remember the Chief Minister's face when he was sat watching them come through, and he looked so involved, and I knew then we had it. Like he'd got it because trying to describe it to anyone who's not been before, it's like, I don't know how big Glastonbury is, but 750,000 to 800,000 people. It's like a whole world in there. And with all these different, I mean, the costumes from all the countries, the music, the art. It's incredible how, yes, we all share this Celtic heritage. And yet it's so diverse. I learned so much this time round. I'm completely in love with those Galician singers.
Absolutely. They were absolutely phenomenal and a lot of fun. They kept raising and lowering the tempo. They brought you on a journey with them. It was absolutely fantastic. And yeah, like you say, the Chief Minister, when he was watching the parade, it was just absolutely wonderful to see how much pride he had in the Isle of Man folks that came out and danced, and you could see him light up. It was wonderful. I was told by the president of the festival that the number of people that came out to watch that parade was the entire population of the Isle of Man. And that just blew my mind. This is a big festival on a big scale.
Gosh, that really helps you get it in perspective, doesn't it? Because, we think the TT's big. This is, next level.
It is. Like, just trying to get our heads wrapped around that it took all week probably to process that fact. But, this festival is huge. And the fact that the Isle of Man has a presence there is an opportunity that can't be sniffed at whatsoever. It's a really amazing platform to show off our culture, our heritage, our tourism, our the fact that it's such a unique island, and it's lovely to be able to share the world with an audience that's really hungry for that.
Yeah, and also the fact that we're on an equal footing. We're one of the Celtic nations, and so we're regarded as equals, even though we're possibly the smallest nation. We're smaller than Cornwall, aren't we? Are we maybe a little bit bigger? Hard to tell. Yeah. But we're treated as equally as Brittany is, as Galicia is, or Asturias. We're one of the teams, so to take this opportunity is so very important.
Absolutely. I mean, they really get their money's worth from us. Even if we're a slightly smaller delegation, we are absolutely throwing all we can at this festival, and it shows, because our pavilion's packed all the time when we've got our performers on the stage, and all of the festival gigs. Everyone's whooping and cheering. Everyone's, they say, "Where are you from?" You say, "Ilderman." They go, "Ilderman." Like, the people really go crazy for us. It's really, really heartening to know.
Only place I've ever been in the world where everybody you speak to knows where you're from. Like, so often I'm having to draw maps for people or describe, here's England and here's Ireland and we're right in the middle. It's such a surprise when you speak to people and they know where you're from. But also the fact that we can celebrate our Celtic Viking heritage is totally unique, and I don't think that's anything I'd appreciated before. But on the last night, as part of the delegation wind down from a really busy week, we had a bit of a gathering, didn't we, at the Manx Pavilion, which was just delish. It was so much fun, and everyone came out with runes on their faces and feathers in their hair, and Julia Ashby Smythe had a raven on her shoulder. Everybody pulled out all the stops, and the attention attention that got. That's not really where we were going with it, but people were coming up to us asking for us to draw runes on their faces. We made a lot of friends that night, and also a lot of people learned an awful lot about the Isle of Man, so I think maybe it's something we should do again next year, Grania.
I think so, yeah. I mean, that was just really to sort of boost morale on the last night when everyone was feeling really tired and ready for home, but it ended up sort of drawing in masses of crowds, and everyone, you know, we had Catherine doing hair all night, we had you painting runes on people's faces, and we were having conversations with everyone, and everyone, you know, the locals, they really embrace this festival, and they really embrace all the different countries that come, and they are so welcoming and lovely. It's such a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, nothing quite like it. But we also had quite a lot to celebrate that night because we had two major successes on Saturday. The lovely Mira Royal came third in the Camac Harp Trophy, which is quite a feat. Most of the people in that competition, there were 10 of the eight people, and she came third, and such a large number of them were maybe twice her age, and she played just beautifully, but we knew it was stiff competition, and honestly I nearly cried when she came third. I was so proud. We've really got to know her well, haven't we, and seen her perform under all sorts of different pressures and different circumstances, and she just blew us away.
Yeah, honestly, Mira, Regi and Owen, the Mira Royal Trio, they just were absolute troopers. They embraced everything about the festival, because Mira and Regi were both new to it. Owen had come a couple of years earlier, but I think this was a different experience for him. But the three of them just took everything in their stride. They turned up on time. They absolutely fulfilled the brief, and then some. They just blew everyone out of the park with their charm and their talent. It was just a delight being with them and having them there at the festival, and it's amazing that Mira was able to finish it on such a high, because it was a really prestigious competition. This is worldwide, this is the international harp competition, and for her to become third at 19 years old, you know, it's a real one for her portfolio, that one.
Yeah, for sure. And the other success we had on Saturday was that you were awarded Delegate of the Year, and it's Grania's first year as delegate, so this is really quite a big deal, because although I don't know, I think you make it look quite easy, and as a team, because we're sort of spread out, you know, there were sort of three of us kind of coordinating in various ways, and so, I don't know, we'd tag team certain aspects, or we'd be able to drop into a concert for 5 minutes, then we'd have to zip off again. So I think you made it look really easy, because we were sort of like turning up, you know, being there, representing, and then sort of dashing off again. But I think that you kept the true pressures of it all very much behind the scenes. I mean, yeah, we've sort of shared this journey for the last year, and it's really something else trying to pull this together. All credit to you. I think, you know, you've done the Isle of Man proud in a really big way. Well done.
Thank you. It was really, really nice to say, and I was absolutely thrilled and shocked when they said my name for that, because I was really gearing for the social media prize. If I have to be honest, I was really thought, right, we you know, this is within our realms here. And then, you know, it went to Cornwall, absolutely well deservedly, because Luana was on it, and she was so amazing at covering everything going on. But when they said my name, I could not believe it at all, and it was just so wonderful, because Lorient has, fair to say, consumed me since I took this on in January. You know, every inch of my free time has been dedicated to getting this trip together and making sure that, you know, our performers have had somewhere to stay, and they were able to get to Lorient, and organising the programme of events and getting more representation for us out there. It was a crash course in negotiations, really. It was, I've learned a lot from it. And then to go to the festival and finally be there on the ground and just sort of, you can't rest at ease, because you're on it in another way, but it was amazing to be there, and just rewarding in and of itself, just to finally see all of that work come together, and then the work on the ground that was going on there to make sure all the things were coming together, and then just to end the week like that, honestly, just made me incredibly emotional. I don't think it's properly hit me yet. And on the festival team, have been so lovely and welcoming the entire time. And any time that I just needed some help with something and I needed to ask people a question and to try and organise something, they were just brill. They were just awesome. And the other delegates as well, they are the loveliest folk ever. We're a proper family. I love them to pieces. They would help me find out which building I needed to get the festival phone from and where I needed to go to do that and this and the other. And it, honestly, it's just an experience that I'll carry with me for the rest of my life.
I'm already looking forward to next year. Next year's the big one. It's 50 years of the festival. So 2020 is one that we're really going to be working hard towards. But we're going to be looking for musical acts, particularly those who celebrate our Celtic culture. That is one of the requirements, really. However you do that, but also a visual artist. We've got a team behind the bar who were amazing this year. I think we really gelled, didn't we? All of us. It felt like a really strong group of people out there showing the world what the Isle of Man's got.
And that is a really important point, because you're spending 10 days together in an incredibly high-pressured situation, and you've got to be able to get on, or at least work through your, disagreements or whatever it is. You've got to be a team player at the end of it. You just have to be, because otherwise you're going to make it miserable for yourself and for others. And to get the most out of it, you just need to buckle down, realise everyone's in it together, and just get on with it. Be happy, be cheerful, and show the Isle of Man to its best, because everyone going out there is an ambassador to the Isle of Man, to a massive world stage, and it's good when it works like it did this year.
Absolutely, and I think the Fanaudry cocktails helped things along quite well as the Bushies beer too, and that vodka, those Manx mules. Fanaudry did a fantastic job of keeping us all well oiled this year, I'd say.
Absolutely, and they went down an absolute storm with the French as well,
because it's quite unusual in France, isn't it? It's not really a tipple of choice.
No, it's not. They're not gin drinkers on the whole, and I think they've got an idea in their head of what it is going to be like, and then Fanaudry will come in and blast that one out of the water, because they're just so creative with it, and the bottles in and of themselves are beautiful pieces of artwork, of course done by Julia Ashby Smythe, and it was just a wonderful connection that she was also our featured artist this year. It just sort of brought it all together, in the best way. People were going up to see Julia's exhibition, they were seeing the bottles there, and Julia had written a beautiful illustrated note in French of go down to the Manx Pavilion and try this, and then at the Manx Pavilion we were telling them, oh well, the artist who designed this is just up the road, and so it was just a wonderful bit of synchronicity going on there, and absolutely phenomenal drinks. I mean, I'm really pleased, because it meant that it wasn't just beer all week.
Because we love a bit of cider. This is actually a traditional Breton cider cup, a bolle.
A bolle.
Yeah. But we're using it to drink tea, and I've got my lovely Lorient Year of Galicia mug too, which is a real winner. I love the rainbow on it. I think we're going to carry on winding down and debriefing and sort of thinking about what's coming next year, but thanks for joining us, and see you on the flip side next year, Lorient 2020, for the Year of Brittany.
It's going to be absolutely amazing. We've got a lot of hard work to do that we we were put at a bit of a disadvantage picking this up in January, and this year we're picking it up now, so we've got a lot of hard work to do, and I think it's going to be a strong year.
Yeah, the festival have plenty of exciting things up their sleeves, so more will be revealed. Stay tuned.